Hi, this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. We're going to start working on our third signature, and I started building it in a different video and then realized that I hadn't inked any of these edges, and there was a ton of them to ink, at least for me there was. So I had to stop, and I'm restarting this. So I'm going to help get you where we need to be. And I don't want to mess up with my pieces here. So I'm just going to kind of pull them and set them aside. So the base piece is this whitewash wood panel. It's going to measure at 7.5 inches across. And then it's going to measure at 7 3/4 in the height. You're going to need two panels, a left and a right, that are going to measure at 4 1/4 by your 7 3/4. You will have a 1/2 inch score where this is where you're going to put your tape, and then you're going to attach it to the back side of the base page. You're going to do two of these, one for the left side and one for the right side and one for the left side. Then these will fold in. And if you want to mess around with the measurements and get this absolutely matching, go ahead. But I didn't want to mess with the minute measurements. Then your top flap, this piece here that's going to come over, is going to measure 4 1/4 inches across. And then it's going to measure 8 1/4 in the length with a 1/2 inch score at this end. Now we're going to play with almost all of the papers that are in this section, because I early on told you to set 5 aside for each section, and I think we're going to be using all of them. Okay. Let me get this put back together. All right. I'm doing it to myself again. Oh, these are on the inside. Okay. So you have a 12 by 12 sheet that will have this pattern, and then this is actually in the middle. But I'm turning it upside down to put on that top flap. The reverse side is that brown mountain scene. So this is what's going to get glued in this space. So if you want to cut and trim those, we're going to go step by step, because I've got too many pieces of paper here. I don't want to confuse you and myself. So we're going to start to glue things down, and then we will cut what we need to as we get to the additional panels. So I'm just going to glue this down. Sneaking up to that score line. All right. Now we're going to come over here. Now, when I cut these, this was on the left side of the sheet, so I cut inward this way so that I could get this image. And then I cut from the right side, I cut in this way so that I had this image. This is what had this left over. So it's just trimming it down so that it will fit that top flap, and then I'm going to turn that around so it's facing a different direction up there. If I don't turn it around, I simply turn it over, then we've got a partial mountain scene, and that's not the theme I'm trying to create. I gotta move this down just a smidge. There we go, looks much better. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this piece in up here. Now, if you want to use this side as your middle piece, go ahead, that's up to you. My attempt here is to kind of keep all the themed paper all in the same sections. All right, so that now has our internal pieces all done. Here at the top, I am creating a pocket. This pocket measures 2 1/4 inches, and it is just going to slip right in here. And then I'm covering it with the wood grain. Kind of sort of had a pattern going here. See, this is the grain, there's this one. And then I cut this little floral arrangement out, and it's going to sit in here just like this. I'm just simply not going to glue the tops of the flowers. I don't know if I'm gluing that one stem or not. I'm just going to bring this all the way down here to the bottom. I do need to add just a touch of glue back here. Okay. And then I fussy cut out one of the little tags that says remember. And I'm just going to put it right there. So now you have a nice little pocket right here. I do believe one of these will fit in there. Yes, look at that. Even though, you know, you could put it here or you could put it down here. You can flip them around, but there you go. But I'm going to put this one back down here. Okay, so now we're going to close this up. Now you have a piece that is going to have these berries. Where's this other one? It's going to be a pink hue off to the right, and then you're going to have their berries, or they remind me of silver dollar plants, if you're familiar with what those are. So you're going to cut again from the right inward, and then cut from the left inward, and then out of the middle section you will have this piece left over, and we are just going to simply glue this right into place, and then that way again the entire internal workings will be done. And we're just dealing with the panels. Now, I really hadn't thought about putting a design on this, so I will think on this. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add these. Get all these loose panels put on. It just eliminates the amount of paper that we've got sliding around. Well, sliding around for me, not for you, because you haven't cut them yet. So what am I talking about? This is such a beautiful piece. I'll probably be playing with it again here in the next couple of signatures. Again, just simply because the limitation of design. Okay. I had 2 of these cut out. I'll find it. I had 2 of these cut out that they were going to go down here in the bottom, and just a tad bit of tape across the bottom so that you had a tuck if you wanted to. But I've tossed things around so much, it's here somewhere. I'll find it. Okay, so these are done. Now it's time to go ahead and add the next panel. This panel, again, is going to be 7 3/4 in the height. That doesn't change. But this is going to come in at 8 1/8. You're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. You're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch. And then you're going to score it at 4 7/8. I want this to turn inward. Okay, so actually on your scoreboard, if you're scoring across, I wrote them down, but I did not do them. I think I did them this way. Anyway, I just gave them to you. I'm going to confuse you, and I don't want to do that. So 1/2 inch, 5/8 of an inch, and then from the end in, this scored at 4 7/8. I'm rounding my corners. This is going to sit on here, and it's going to wrap around this gusset that we've made with everything that we've already built. And I want the 5/8 of an inch gusset on the end. So I'm coming right up to that score line. I'm going to sit right on it and then just turn this over. And then that puts this gusset here at the end. This folds under, and it's going to fold over. Now on this side, you're going to cut a piece that's going to measure at 4 inches. You're going to score it at a 1/2, and then you're going to score at 5/8. And the same thing, you want that gusset to wrap around. So we're going to sit right on top of that 5/8 score line, and we're just going to roll that over. All right, and as best I could, I got the measurements so that this should close fairly close together. Now, before we can really, we're going to do a belly band on this side. So I'm going to have you go ahead and cut it and get ready to install. It's going to be 8 3/4 in height. And then you're going to score at a 1/2 inch on both ends, and it's going to go pretty much dead center of this. But we've got some panels we need to put on first, and then we're going to wrap it around, and then we'll cover these flaps when we go to cover the back side. So we're going to play with the piece that has the okay, I need to put these back where they're supposed to be, or I'm going to drive myself crazy. You're going to play with a piece that has a mountain theme. what I'm doing here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of hesitating because I seem to think I have... I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the pieces I put together. These go together, but this one feels a little odd and out of place, and it's square. So I'm trying to figure out where it was supposed to go. Ooh. All right, I got one piece sorted out. We will accomplish it by attacking it this way. And then what's left over goes in on the inside. So and I'm not really an airhead. I just have a lot going on. And I'm trying to remember everything without taking notes and reading a script. All right, the piece that has the mountain scene, the beige one, we are going to be cutting into that. And I want you to cut from the right side in, and then you'll cut from the right side in so that you can maintain this flow. And then this flap that folds over, where'd it go? You're gonna cut a 1-inch piece that's going to go right here. And I do believe this one's going here. And this one is going here. So let me look at the terrain here. There we go. All right, so you're gonna split these up because we're gonna cover this belly band, but we're not gonna cover this. So we're gonna cover the belly band and we're gonna keep the same theme going across here. So this first piece is at 1 inch. This second piece is at 1 1 1/8. I knew I would get it out there yet. 1 1/8. And then the third piece is going to be at 1 inch. And again, you're going to keep cutting from the right to the left, from the right to the left, from the right to the left. You'll have a little tiny piece left over here, but this is how the theme is going to look. So keep in mind, this is that first panel, but when you open this up, here's the rest of it. And then when this is closed, this will be somewhat what you'll see. You'll see the top of the mountain range and it'll kind of taper off, but that can't be helped. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this piece. And on the reverse side, you've got this beautiful, beautiful floral. Goldish brown. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover this piece. And rounding my corners as I go. You can choose to do that if you want. Oops, smearing glue all over the place. Okay, so now I'm going to, I know that piece goes there. I don't know where this, maybe I forgot to round corners. I'll figure it out. Because we're not to that piece of paper yet anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think what I did was I forgot to round the corners. Okay, all right. Okay, so this piece is going to go down first. I rounded my corners so it's easy for me to identify. And then the smaller of the two will go down here. And then I'll put the belly band on, and then I will cover it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the belly band on. Okay, so see then when you put something in there, there you go. All right. So now I'm gonna figure out, I think I just simply did not round the corner. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. It doesn't surprise me. I have so many strips of paper floating around here. Okay, so this panel is, you will find a 12 by 12 that will have this floral. It'll be kind of pink in the center, and then you're going to have this floral, and it's going to come across this way. See, the back side of it has that blue mountain range, except I think that's on Landis. I'm not going to confuse you anymore. Be mindful of this 5/8 of an inch gusset that we've got going right here on this side. Then we're going to put this piece on. And I'm going to jump up here real quick because I've got a dog that wants to go out. All right, so let's get back to putting these pieces in here. And then we're going to put some little knickknacks in. I have to trim this. Totally ignored this piece. I have a 3/8" gusset. Okay, did I forget any panels? No. All right, so let's start working on some of our... So this is what's going to slide in here to keep this closed. And again, you can use whichever piece you want, but I'm going to use this piece. I think it looks kind of cool that she's holding a mug of hot coffee and she's looking back across the mountain range. Oh my gosh. All right, so here on the front, I cut out the framework of the birdhouse, and I'm going to put a bird on it, like so. And this is going to be a tuck coming up underneath here. So we're just going to secure down this. And glue's handy, so that's what I'm going to use. Kind of center left to right just a little bit. Put those down, and then we're going to put the bird so that the tail is just coming off, and I'm going to secure the better part of the bird and that part of the limb. Hopefully it didn't mess this up. All right, so then you can come in here and you can tuck. Now here I did something, this is what I was doing. So over here across the bottom, I was going to put in the tag Wonderland. So this should not interfere. Once you get this in, then this is going to just sit right over the top like this. And I'm going to glue this because I don't know to what length. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm just going to put that on like that. Okay. So that's what we have there so far. Now we're going to get back inside here because there were some other elements that I wanted to put on. Oh, it went this way. So these are coming out of scraps. So I have a 2 1/4 inch pocket that's going to go here on the front of this. Oh, stuff is falling out of my... Come in here like so. Glue this in. And then I took one of the big chipboard pieces, this, and it's just going to drop in right here, right on top of this pocket. Okay, so then this little guy, I took 2 of the butterflies and I cut them out and I glued them together, one of the blue ones and this one, and then I put them on blue cardstock, and I'm just going to put them in up here, and I'm going to tack down the tips of the blue butterfly so that this can be a nice little tuck. On this page, and it still leaves plenty of room for photos or some journaling here. Okay, so let's take a look and make sure that I have everything that I wanted to put in here. We've got this. I was still going to put something here, but I cannot find it. Okay, there you go. Let's go ahead, turn her over, and let's put some tape on the back side of this. Grab my 5/8. So far, I'm kind of excited that we're putting together an album that doesn't require magnets. And we're utilizing some of the crafts that Scrap and Create's got available for sale. Stop it. All right, let's get our book. And let's put this in, and it's going to sit in here like so. All right, so I'm going to take this out because it's kind of heavy, so it's going to flop around, but I want to be able to take it out so I can put this in. I'm going to take this one off. And these two. And I'm going to come right up to the very edge of the page and make sure I'm laying this in nice and level. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this off this page a little bit because I'm way over. I don't know how I did that because I've been cutting everything the same. I'm way over, and I'm hitting in my gusset here. Well, it's the buildup. Okay, so I'm going to lay this just inside so I can see a little bit of that paper I have set there. And it is going to pull this off the end a little bit. The only interference I'm going to have is the tape, and I can use some of the undo to take that off. So let me get in there, and I apologize. This has probably screwed you up because it's screwed me up. such the struggles with building. You just simply can't anticipate enough. I should put in my bio at the beginning of my channel that I'm not perfect. Okay, there we go. We're done. All right, we've only got just a couple more signatures to go and we'll be finished. So until the next one, I'll see you. Bye-bye.